You know what, listeners? Sometimes the hardest decision isn't choosing what to start, it's choosing what to leave behind. Now imagine standing at the threshold of a family legacy with wealth and security laid out before you and still feeling that quiet pull that your dream belongs somewhere else. Welcome back, listeners, to this episode of BizBlend podcast, where today we are diving into that exact crossroads with Jason VanDevere. Now, Jason walked away from a nine-figure family business to build his own dream from scratch. From creating Goal Crazy, a goal setting planner that's touched over 40,000 lives, to building a multi million dollar real estate portfolio and now authoring Dream Driven, Jason knows what it means to turn vision into reality. So, listeners, this conversation isn't just about entrepreneurship, it's about courage, conviction, and the messy process of finding the business idea that truly belongs to you. So, Jason, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really honored to have you here with us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this discussion. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Um, so, Jason, leaving a family business worth nine figures is almost unimaginable to many. So, what did that decision really feel like for you? Like, was it fear, freedom, or maybe both?
Yeah, there was fear of the unknown. There was a lot of excitement. I had been working at my family owns car dealerships in Akron, Ohio, in the United States. So I'd been working there in all the different departments to learn all the aspects of the car dealership. And my dad is the car dealer. Him and my uncle own it, and they have so much passion for the business. They love it. You can just see how the business is an extension of them. And I knew that I was not going to find that at the dealership. It didn't align with this natural desire inside of me. So, although it was frightening to turn down the opportunity because being a car dealer is financially a very unique opportunity. It's a big business, but I knew I wanted what they had. They had something that they were so excited about that allowed a better version of them to come out and live, and that really fueled me for it. But I was definitely afraid. Like when I left, other than my family members and my direct managers, I didn't really tell any of the employees because I was afraid of what they would say. And some of the ones that I told what I was doing, uh, they told me it was just bad idea, crazy idea. Um, so I didn't want that bouncing around in my head. So I
Mm.
kind of left without telling many people.
Yeah. I mean, I can so much, relate with that. And I think so many listeners, they wrestle with that tension that you can have stability but still feel misaligned. And I think your story proves security doesn't always equal fulfillment.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And uh, I mean, what exactly did make you, um, you know, um, make a transition into this? Like what exactly made you anchor through this? Because I mean, what was it, a vision or a strategy, or it was just, sheer stubbornness?
I don't think necessarily stubbornness. It was a dream. So I journal a lot. I journal about my dreams, my goals for my life. One of the habits that has been really influential for me and that I tell people to do is I take 10 minutes every single day and just dream about the life that I want for myself, what I want to do, the lifestyle I want to create. And because of that, I have such a clear vision in my head of the life that I want to create. And when I knew the dealership wasn't going to give me that, my my dreams were really what was drawing me forward. It was like, okay, I can see this life so clearly in my head. It gave me a target to aim at, and it gave me the confidence to go out and pursue it.
Yeah. That's such a solid answer, Jason. And when you mention about dream now, um, there's a common belief that follow your passion, follow your dream. It's a dangerous advice because passion or having just the dream alone doesn't pay the bills. So, um, I mean, many of us would have a dream, maybe a dream business model or a perfect business idea in our mind. But I think many of us stumble exactly when it comes to the execution, the strategy, or sometimes we are not able to accept the output as well or the setbacks. Because, let's just admit it that entrepreneurship is a very, very, not very, but comparatively a very isolating journey. Comparatively, of course. Um, there will be your family members or your people, your team who will be there. But um, why do you think? I mean, what kind of opinion do you have on this? When
Yeah.
exactly get
Yeah,
started?
this is really good because I think that your passion alone won't pay the bills, but your passion will give you the courage to overcome the challenges. It's like, I think starting a business, no matter what, is going to be hard. In my experience of starting businesses, I've interviewed dozens and dozens of entrepreneurs on my podcast. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs. It's just hard. And when I was starting my business, some of my friends were also starting businesses at the same time. And some of them took more of what I call the easy money approach, where they just looked for what's the easiest business that can earn me a ton of money. And that's how they chose their business idea. Versus I found something that completely aligned with a passion of mine, that all the metrics that they were looking at said it was too competitive. There wasn't enough potential money to be made. It basically said it was a bad business idea, but I was passionate about it. However, we all ran into challenges starting our business. So my friends who had the easy money business, they just quit because if the foundation is easy money, if either the easy or the money part disappear, then you're gonna walk away. But for me, it's like my desire to start this business was huge. It outweighed any of the challenges that were less that showed up. It gave me the courage to push through them and to weather those storms. So I agree. Your passion won't alone pay the bills, but your passion is what's going to fuel you to take the actions to solve the challenges that arise. Uh,
Totally,
yeah.
totally, totally. I really love that zeal. When you say that passion,
Yeah.
it definitely provides you the fuel in there.
Mhm.
Um, and talking about goal crazy, I mean, you have sold Jason over $1 million in planners, which is, specifically the highlight here. It's an incredible feat for a physical product in the digital age. When we all have been bombarded by notes or online digital journals and whatnot. How did you validate goal crazy before pouring in time and money?
Yeah. So luckily, I part of my process of designing the planner was I interviewed a bunch of successful entrepreneurs and I wanted to figure out how are they setting their goals, how are they tracking their progress, how are they holding themselves accountable. I wanted to take those lessons and put them into my planner. And through that process, the entrepreneurs gave me guidance on how to launch my business. And if it wasn't for that guidance, I don't think I would have gone through the quote unquote validation process. But they really helped me and said, look, you need to validate this is a winning planner design first. And one of my mentors recommended me to host focus groups where I get groups of people, maybe 4 to 8 to 10 people, and I would give them a booklet of my planner design, and they would go through it page by page. They would try it out, and I would get feedback. And at first, when I was given that advice to try it out, I thought it was a silly idea. I thought it would be a waste of time. But out of respect to this person, I hosted the focus group. And the first one, it was scheduled to be an hour long. It went over 3 hours long, and it
Wow.
was it was incredibly painful. It was People were giving me a lot of negative feedback. They were saying, "This doesn't make sense. This is too much writing. It's repetitive. I don't get what I'm supposed to do here." It was just a lot of negative feedback. So
Okay.
afterwards, I was crushed, right? I had left my beautiful job I had at our family's car dealership. I'd spent months working on this design. I felt like a failure. But
Mm.
after I kind of sat in my car for a while after this focus group, I remember realizing now I have this list of here are the problems with my design. And if I fix these problems, it'll be so much better. So I addressed those problems and I hosted another focus group. And I ended up hosting, I believe, 7 of them. And each time it got better and better until the last couple, just worked. People were getting results. They understood it. It was working how it should have. And I can almost guarantee if I did not go through that process to validate that it was a winning product with those focus groups, it would have failed. And I would have gone rather than giving all the negative feedback from my focus group members, I would have gotten the feedback in the form of terrible reviews, and then no one would have
Yeah.
bought it if it had a bunch of negative reviews. So I think focus groups or beta testers, I think those are super, super helpful whenever you're launching something. Now, like if I'm going to launch a course or a coaching program, I want to have people try it out first so I can work out all the flaws before I market it. Um, but I would say there's 2 parts, and sorry, this is a little bit of a long response, but I think those focus groups and beta testers, they really help you to validate that you have a winning product or service. But I think the other thing you have to validate is that there's a demand in the market. Are people willing to pay for it? And
Yeah.
a way that you can validate that is by pre-selling your product. So, for example, with my planner, I pre-sold it. I emailed people that I knew who were in my target market and said, "Hey, I designed this planner. It's gonna help you accomplish your goals. I'm ordering a batch of them. Would you be willing to buy one for $20? If so, Venmo me 20 bucks and you'll get one of the planners in the first batch." And I pre-sold them, and that gave me confidence to know people are willing to buy it. Uh, and I do the same thing now. If I'm going to launch a new coaching program or a new course, I pre-sell it
Yeah.
before I record anything. I'm going to put it out to my email list or on a workshop. And if people don't buy it, then I'm not going to design it. I'm not going to make it. But if they buy it, it's like, okay, now I know there's demand. Now I'm going to put in the work to design it. I'll use beta testers, make it better. And then I'll have a product that people are willing to pay for and that solves a problem.
That's a really smart one, Jason. I mean, first of all, um, I think the beauty here is you didn't actually employ any flashy techniques or some, glamorous launch events or something. You just followed through the basics, the fundamentals of understanding the problems out there, and then working on the reiterations in there. I think one question that comes to my mind the first time when you got a very negative feedback, poor feedback from the focus group. I mean, did you have any second thoughts that you need to pivot, or maybe this is something that I shouldn't do?
Uh, I might have. I felt like at that point, I knew it was something I wanted to do, and I would have been too embarrassed to quit. I knew a product I knew this product in a way was gonna solve a problem. One, I knew people were buying planners, right? Maybe the competition was ridiculously high, but people were buying planners, and I had to imagine there was people who wanted a planner like this because I really wanted one. Uh, and it would have been really embarrassing to go back to the dealership after I just left. So maybe that also helped. But it was hard. I definitely second guessed myself like, "Okay, was this the dumbest idea?" But I don't know if I actually thought seriously about quitting at that point because I'd already put so much effort into it.
Absolutely, yeah. And
But, it
uh,
was hard when I was getting the feedback, and I think this is a lesson people should remember is people were giving me negative feedback, and the default response I wanted to give was to get defensive and argue with them, right? Like if they told me a section didn't make sense, I wanted to argue with them and say, yes, it does, right?
yeah,
Uh, but that wasn't helpful at all because what I was looking for was that feedback. So you had to die to your pride or ego for a little bit and just take notes. This is what people are saying. And then I could go back and sort it through. Because if me arguing with them saying, "No, this is great," and them telling me, "No, we're all confused," it just wouldn't have helped.
yeah. That's a very I love that clarity, Jason. I love that clarity. And I think here also I would credit that passion, that dream, which is acting as a fuel and a kind of a compass for you, giving you that clarity. And also, Jason, as we mentioned about dream now, sometimes people say that, especially as an entrepreneur, um, maybe the business model that you are working on, it's almost validated and you're ready for launch. Sometimes may not work out, and in such scenarios, you should have a plan B. Do you believe in that, or do you think that the prep should be done in such a way that, we have to kind of make it validated, and we should make sure, like you did with the feedback, with the pre-selling technique, pre-selling strategy.
Yeah, I think I would consider the plan B options maybe during the validation if I needed to pivot an idea or tweak it in some way. That's when I would look at it. But if it was past the validation process, I would want to keep going because I think a trap that the plan B can cause is just starting a business is hard. In my experience of interviewing people, it's just hard. And I wouldn't want somebody to pivot their idea because it's hard when really what they needed to do was just put in the work to get over the hump, because once they really get things moving, then they get over to the other side where it's easier. Like for me, I was in a state of struggle for probably like 2 years after I launched my planner business. uh,
Okay.
but what gave me the confidence to keep going was I was getting incredible reviews of people changing their life with this planner. I hadn't figured out on the business end how to make it profitable yet, but that was my fault. But at least I had this product that was very much validated. I knew if I could figure out the business model behind it, I could succeed. And I think a way to reduce the chances of being in that situation is finding good mentors. So
Mhm.
when I was starting my business, a mentor told me, he said, Jason, look, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to start a business, the easiest way to do it is find somebody who's already started a business like the one you want to start and just ask them how they did it. There's your straight line. So
Yeah.
I think entrepreneurs need to remember that. It's like if you're starting a business, one of the number one priorities for you at that time should be I need to find someone who's already started a business similar to the one I want to do and learn from them, because you can learn from their failures, you can learn from their successes, but then it makes it so much easier to implement tried and true proven methods rather than trying to figure it out for yourself. And I would say like those 2 years when I was struggling, most of that was because I was trying to figure it out myself rather than just asking other people, what should I be doing? And then doing it.
Yeah, very rightly said. Very rightly said, Jason. I think this is such an important part of any entrepreneur's journey. Even if we say that it's isolating, but I think with mentoring, active communities, fostering conversations and discussions between seasoned entrepreneurs, in fact, investors as well, or maybe somebody who is internally aligned with the idea. I think that can really really work wonders. Really work wonders. And Jason, talking about your no, book, Dream Driven. Um, what exactly do you want the readers, the listeners, to take away from your book, which is about to get released?
Yeah. So the book is going to help them through three main phases. The first is it's going to help them figure out their perfect business idea. And the approach that it takes to do that is it helps somebody answer the question, what do you want to do with your life? Because once we can get clarity on that, once we get clear on this is the lifestyle that you want to create, then we can design what will be the business that'll be the means to make that dream lifestyle happen. I always tell new entrepreneurs, look, your business should be the means, it shouldn't be the end, right? The end should be the lifestyle you want, and then your business is the means to create it. So it's going to help them figure out their dream business idea. The second thing it's going to help them do is validate that it's a quality product or service, that there's demand for it. And the third thing is how to launch the business, even if you don't have a whole bunch of money to throw at it.
That's super. That's really super. Ah, wonderful, wonderful. So Jason, before we wrap up, if our listeners, they would like to connect with you and also listen to your podcast, Gold Crazy podcast, and also get a hold of your upcoming book, what would be the best way?
Yeah, so my book is called Dream Driven and it's available on Amazon. So it comes out officially on September 9th. So you can just search on there Dream Driven, check that out. My website is goalcrazy.com, and that's goal like a soccer goal, GOAL, goalcrazy.com. Probably a great place for anybody to start though is I have a free course that they can access. It's at goalcrazy.com/course. And this course is the exact course that my planner starts out with. I mean, I sold this course like you mentioned earlier, over 40,000 times. If they hired me to coach them, the course that's in the planner is the exact questions that I would sit down and ask somebody, helping them figure out where they're at in their life right now, where they want to be, and start putting together a plan to get them there. But they can access that course completely free so that they don't need a coach to ask them those questions. They can do the deep work and get the clarity for themselves. So they can get that at goalcrazy.com/course.
Super, super. I'll make sure to have all the details in the show notes. And congratulations in advance, Jason, for your upcoming book.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much, because personally, what I'm taking from your journey is that, success, it isn't just about building a business that works. It's about building life that feels like yours. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
So to all the listeners out there, if you're wondering whether to stay safe or start fresh, please remember that courage isn't about having no doubts. It's about choosing the dream anyway. So until then, thank you to everyone for tuning into this episode of BizBlend. Maybe today is the day you stop asking, is this idea good enough? And start asking, am I ready to live a life I'll be proud of? Until then, this is your host Sana signing off. Thank you.